Flashback, 8 years earlier. "You're where?" Jaden yelled through Izzy's laptop speaker, his face pixelated on the screen, his bedroom wall behind him plastered with skateboarding posters. "The Silicon Valley Tech Summit," Izzy whispered, crouched in a convention center bathroom stall. She'd used her abuela's food truck money to buy a bus ticket, forging a permission slip that her parents, still at work, would never see. "I'm gonna show my website to real developers." "Dude, you're gonna get kidnapped!" "By who?" "Nerds in hoodies." Izzy adjusted her fake conference badge, scribbled with, "Isabella Morales, CEO of Morales Tech, pending. If I'm not home by midnight, call the cops." She hung up and slipped into a keynote speech. The room buzzed with adults in blazers, laughing over terms like neural networks and seed funding. Izzy's heart raced. At the snack table, she grabbed a cookie shaped like a microchip and approached a man examining a hologram prototype. "Excuse me," she said. "I built a platform that automates small business inventory. Want to see?" The man blinked. "How old are you?" "Old enough to know your hologram's latency issue is a software problem, not hardware." He laughed. "Bold kid. Let's talk." By the end of the day, Izzy had 3 business cards and a promise from a venture capitalist to keep in touch. She called Jaden from the bus ride home, giddy. "Hartman can suck it," he said. "You're gonna be like the Elon Musk of tacos." Present day. "And that's why we need to pivot," Hartman said, her voice slicing through Isabella's thoughts. The boardroom screen displayed a PowerPoint slide titled, "NovaTech's Youth Outreach, Why Experience Matters." A photo of Hartman posing with students flashed by, all of them white and smiling. Isabella cleared her throat. "Interesting photos. Did you pick them yourself, or does NovaTech have a stock image subscription for diversity?" Gregory coughed into his fist. Hartman's smile tightened. "Our outreach programs prioritize qualified candidates," Hartman said. "We can't risk our reputation on untested individuals." "Right," Isabella said, "because only certain people get to be qualified." She swiveled to face the board. "Speaking of reputations, our stock dropped 15% last quarter after the data breach. The press thinks we're outdated. My proposal?" She tossed a USB drive onto the table. "A free coding boot camp for underserved schools. We train the next-gen workforce and rebrand as innovators. Hartman's STEM proposal is a band-aid. Mine's a revolution." The room buzzed. Hartman's face flushed mottled pink. "This is reckless. You can't just throw money at—" A shrill alarm blared. Red lights flashed. "Security breach in the server room," a voice shouted over the intercom. "Unauthorized access detected." Chaos erupted. Board members scrambled for their phones. Isabella stood, adrenaline surging. "Gregory, lock down the network. Hartman, call a T. I'll handle the server room." "You?" Hartman hissed. "You've been here 3 hours." "And you've been here a year," Isabella shot back. "How's that experience working out?" She sprinted down the hall, heels in hand, her stockinged feet slapping against cold tile. The server room door was ajar. Inside, rows of supercomputers hummed, their blue lights casting an eerie glow. A figure crouched by the central terminal, hood pulled low. "Freeze!" Isabella barked, channeling her father's stories of janitorial heroics. "Security's on the way." The figure turned and pulled down their hood. "Izzy? Jaden?" Her best friend grinned, his once scrawny frame now lean and tattooed, his braces replaced by a silver lip ring. He gestured to the computer. "Relax, I'm stress testing your firewall. NovaTech hired me as a cybersecurity consultant. Surprise." Isabella gaped. "You couldn't text me first?" "Where's the fun in that?" He nodded at her bare feet. "Nice socks. CEO chic?" Before she could reply, footsteps echoed outside. Hartman appeared in the doorway, panting. "What's the meaning of this? Who is this hooligan?" Jaden winked. "Jaden Wu, professional skateboarder, TikTok dancer, and—" He tossed a NovaTech badge to Isabella. "Your new head of cybersecurity. Miss me, Mrs. H?" Hartman's face contorted. "You, the Xbox vandal." "The Xbox savior," Jaden corrected. Izzy here fixed your crappy school laptops for free, by the way. You're welcome. Isabella pressed a hand to her forehead. Jaden, explain the breach, now. False alarm. I triggered it to expose your security gaps. Also, he lowered his voice. Someone's been snooping in the financial files. Looks inside job. Hartman stiffened. Isabella's eyes narrowed. Interesting, she said. Let's keep this between us, for now. The server room's blue-tinted silence was shattered by Hartman's shrill voice. This is outrageous. Hiring a skateboarder to handle cybersecurity? This company is a circus. Jaden leaned against a humming server rack, twirling his NovaTech badge around his finger. Relax, Mrs. H. I'm certified. Got a degree in ethical hacking and a minor in annoying teachers. Isabella shot him a warning look. Jaden exposed a critical flaw in our system. That's more than the last team did in 6 months. She turned to Hartman, her tone icy. Unless you'd prefer another data breach before the quarterly report? Hartman's lips thinned into a bloodless line. I'll be discussing this with the board. She spun on her heel, her stilettos clacking like gunfire down the hall. Once she was gone, Jaden whistled. She's still got that I eat kittens for breakfast vibe, huh? Focus, Isabella said, pulling up the server logs on a terminal. You said someone's been accessing financial files. Any leads? Jaden flopped into a rolling chair and kicked his feet onto the desk. Traces lead to an encrypted IP address. But get this, it's internal. Someone's using NovaTech's own network to cover their tracks. He tossed her a thumb drive. I planted a little malware of my own. Next time they snoop, we'll get a notification. Isabella raised an eyebrow. Malware? You sure you're not the hacker here? Please, I'm a white hat. Besides, I'm billing them $500 an hour for this. He grinned. Gotta fund my skate park somehow. Later that night, Isabella's penthouse office overlooked the city, its floor-to-ceiling windows reflecting the glow of her laptop. She'd traded her blazer for an oversized MIT hoodie, her hair piled into a messy bun. On screen, financial reports blurred into a sea of numbers. NovaTech's cash reserves were draining faster than a sinkhole. Unauthorized transfers, inflated vendor costs, a shell company named Phoenix Holdings, siphoning millions. A knock interrupted her. Gregory Cho stood in the doorway, holding 2 takeout coffees. Figured you'd be here. Black? 2 sugars? You're a saint, Isabella said, accepting the cup. Gregory glanced at her screen. Phoenix Holdings? You found the rat? Not yet, but they're getting sloppy. She zoomed in on a transaction. This payment was made last week. Same day Hartman submitted her STEM budget proposal. Gregory frowned. Eloise has been here a year. If she's involved, why wait so long to act? Maybe she needed time to gain trust, or maybe... Isabella's phone buzzed. A notification from Jaden's malware. Alert, unauthorized access detected. File, employee records. She sprang up. It's happening, now. Midnight run. The parking garage was deserted, lit by flickering fluorescents. Isabella and Jaden crouched behind a concrete pillar, eyes glued to Jaden's tablet. A red dot pulsed on a map of NovaTech's offices. 3rd floor, HR department. They're in, Jaden whispered. Ready to scare the living daylights out of 'em? Isabella nodded. They slipped through a service elevator, emerging into a darkened hallway. The HR office door was ajar, a sliver of light cutting through the gloom. Heart pounding, Isabella nudged it open. A figure in a black hoodie hunched over a computer, their face illuminated by the screen. Isabella flicked on the lights. Freeze! Jaden barked, phone flashlight aimed like a spotlight. The figure whirled around, a young woman with wide, panicked eyes. Meera Patel, NovaTech's junior accountant. Her desk was littered with spreadsheets and a half-eaten granola bar. Meera? Isabella lowered her phone. What are you doing here? I was just... Meera stammered, clutching a USB drive. I wasn't stealing. I swear. I was trying to find the thief. Jaden crossed his arms. Start talking. Now. Meera swallowed. 3 months ago, I noticed discrepancies in the payroll. Someone's been funneling money to Phoenix Holdings. I tried reporting it, but my manager said to drop it, so I started investigating on my own. She gestured to the screen. Tonight, I finally cracked the encryption. The payments are coming from... She hesitated. Dr. Hartman's department. Isabella's pulse spiked. Hartman? You're sure? Mira nodded. The trail leads to her admin, but Hartman signs off on all budgets. She has to know. Jaden whistled. Plot twist. The dragon lady's a thief. We need proof, Isabella said. Mira, send everything you have to me, and don't confront Hartman. If she's desperate, she'll destroy evidence. Mira's shoulders sagged with relief. Thank you. I didn't know who to trust. Isabella squeezed her arm. You did the right thing. The next morning, Hartman's office smelled like lavender and superiority. Framed diplomas lined the walls, alongside photos of her shaking hands with politicians. Isabella leaned against the doorframe, holding a file folder. Doctor, Hartman, got a minute? Hartman didn't look up from her computer. I'm busy. Make an appointment. It's about Phoenix Holdings. The clatter of Hartman's coffee cup echoed like a gunshot. I don't know what you're implying. Isabella dropped the folder on her desk. Unauthorized transfers, fake invoices, all approved by you. The board's gonna love this. Hartman's composure cracked. You think you're so clever, don't you? Waltzing in here like some tech messiah, but you're still that same naive girl with her taco truck fantasies. And you're still a bully, Isabella said calmly. But now you're a broke one. Gambling debts, right? The Monaco trips, the designer suits. It was all a front. You needed NovaTech's money to stay afloat. Hartman shot up, her chair slamming into the wall. You have no proof. Isabella tapped the folder. We have Mira Patel's testimony, and the digital trail even you can't erase. Hartman's face twisted. For a heartbeat, Isabella thought she might lunge. Instead, the woman laughed, a brittle, hollow sound. You win, for now. But this isn't over. She grabbed her purse and stormed out, leaving Isabella alone with the hum of the air conditioner. The calm. Before the storm. Back in her office, Isabella slumped into her chair. Jaden lounged on her couch, tossing a stress ball at the ceiling. So, Hartman's toast. Case closed? Not yet. She didn't confess, and the board will want concrete evidence. Isabella rubbed her temples. But we're close. Jaden caught the ball. Hey, remember when we hid Hartman's gradebook in the cafeteria freezer? Isabella smirked. She made us scrub gum off desks for a week. Worth it. He tossed her the ball. Whatever happens, we'll handle it. CEO Izzy and skateboard Jaden taking down the suits. She laughed, the weight lifting slightly. Thanks, Jay. Her phone buzzed. A message from Gregory. Emergency board meeting. Hartman just resigned.